Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? This is the video that I promised around Bitcoin. As we talk about in our daily financial news, Bitcoin has been on a tear lately. Today, just touching below 18,000. I originally scheduled an interview with a friend of mine who has been into crypto for over a decade. Unfortunately, after checking with his leadership or the CEO of his company, they have asked him not to show up on YouTube interviews. This individual is a senior executive, top 2 or 3 individuals at a tech company, so I understand. But he did give me an hour of his time, and I'm going to summarize what we talked about and really highlight why he was early in Bitcoin. He's been in there. He was buying coins for hundreds of dollars, so he's doing quite well. And we'll really talk about what has happened in the last year or so, actually the last couple of months. We're going to talk about a publicly traded company taking all of its cash reserves, putting it in Bitcoin in September. I thought that was market moving and actually something I missed. And then most importantly, we're going to talk about the 5 definitions of money. This was the basis of our conversation. He shared a lot of technical things with me about Bitcoin and all of these altcoins and all of these things. But really, what it really boiled down with me is to understand that Bitcoin and how it compares to the 5 definitions of money. So we're going to really do that. But before we go there, let me share with you this what I found was just way interesting. So it looks like MicroStrategy went ahead and took its roughly $500 million in cash reserves and moved it into Bitcoin. So here you go. Here's the article. In the third quarter of 2020, MicroStrategies bought 250 million worth of Bitcoin, and then a few weeks later did another 175 million. Given their last quarterly announcement had 500 million in cash reserves, they have about 90% of their reserves now in Bitcoin. And if you don't know what's happened since September, Bitcoin is up quite a bit. So MicroStrategies, at least on paper, has made more profit from their Bitcoin ownership than they have from being a company doing what they do. In addition to that, not that it really matters, but their CEO has several $1 million in Bitcoin as well. So again, I thought it was interesting here. This happened first, then Square came out, Jack Dorsey's company, buying 50 million worth of Bitcoin. So again, companies are doing this. In addition to that, my friend highlighted that companies or countries, the wealthy in countries like Argentina that are suffering from deflation, they've been in a rush to move their money, their value into Bitcoin to get away from inflation. I thought that was very interesting. In a world where central governments are printing money to no end, to see that third world countries, if you will, or second world, the wealthy are moving to Bitcoin because they don't trust their governments, and is an interesting thing. So the last thing I really took from our conversation is I didn't know is that Bitcoin actually has a limit, 21 million units. So it does provide scarcity. Right now, there's about 18 million units out there. So other things he talked about, I was missing my notes here: distributed algorithm, decentralized, peer-to-peer, and it's scarce. So lots of things. So next, what I want to do is really talk about the 5 definitions of money. Talking with my friend, Bitcoin really has 3 of them on lock. The 4th is becoming interesting and getting closer. And then the 5th is where it probably needs a little bit more work, and we are going there. So let me stop sharing this article and bring up the quick presentation. So again, Bitcoin has, or money, there's 5 definitions of money. So let's talk about them in context of Bitcoin. Again, as I've said endlessly, don't own any Bitcoin. I'm not a Bitcoin person, but it seems to be becoming important. So I thought I would go to my personal network and ask some questions. So the first one is it fungible, right? Is it all equal? And the answer is yes, right? There is a price and they're all equal. If you want to understand what fungible means in context, think about a rare coin, like a silver Morgan, right? They're not all equal. there's different grades, there's different opinions. One person may think it's worth X and another person may think it's worth Y. So Bitcoin is absolutely fungible and hits the definition of money, number one. Number two is it's durable. It's not a piece of cake. It's not something that deteriorates over time, either short or long term. It is durable, right? It is what it is. It's essentially code. So again, it's not going to decay with age. So again, definition of money number two, Bitcoin hits. Portable. Bitcoin is extremely portable. It's actually not something you really have to carry per se. It lives in zeros and ones in code. So it is extremely portable and can be transferred and moved around anywhere in the world. So absolutely definition number three for Bitcoin and money is hit. Recognizable. This is the one that my friend is telling me that, it's coming around. Again, he's been in Bitcoin for years, if not a decade. He was a part of that run up to over 20,000 before, and he was like, that was very hyper and wasn't healthy, definitely a bubble. This time's different, right? You have MicroStrategy putting its cash reserves, which you've already talked about. We have Square, we have PayPal, we have Druckenmiller, we have hedge funds coming in. We have Wall Street looking at how to create fees out of Bitcoin. So it is on its way to becoming recognizable. My friend admits it's not perfect. It's not quite there yet, but he sees it being very recognizable in very short order. And, I have to agree with it. And then lastly, this is the one where today Bitcoin falls down. It will get there over time, but Bitcoin is highly variable today. You may buy something today that with $100 and you transfer Bitcoin, and tomorrow it could be 85 or it could be 185. It's not quite stable yet, and this is what will happen with maturity, with more institutional kind of support, and it becoming really part of the lexicon. So again, of the 5 definitions of money, recognizable, it's almost there, again, according to my friend, but it's not quite stable, right? We're seeing daily ups and downs. And again, my friend was a part of the run up to 20,000 plus where, grandparents were buying the coins and things of that nature. So again, it's getting there. He talks about, there was an article just out today about Bitcoin going to 60,000 in 2021. He totally sees that. And if you stretch it out over the next decade or so, he thinks Bitcoin could go much, much higher. So again, that's my friend's opinion. I just wanted to go ask questions because I don't know anything about it. But in the day, I'm a, one rental at a time guy, cash flow, real estate, all of that recognized by Forbes, which was a huge thing. So again, just thought I would share with you what's going on with Bitcoin. I'm sorry I couldn't interview my friend, but I wasn't gonna guilt him into something where his company said no, don't do that. It's just not what I wanted to do. So I took notes. If you have questions, feel free. I'm always can just give him a call and ask questions. But that's what I got for you. Sorry I couldn't do an actual interview. But again, big news, MicroStrategy, 425 million of their cash reserves in Bitcoin. Pretty significant. 5 definitions of money, got 3 of them down. 4th one's coming, 5th one with some work. It's getting interesting, I think. All right, everybody, take care.